All right, we back again for another leg. We're gonna try to do a couple more chapters in the book of Jubilee. I wanted to do the class live like we normally do, but something came up, and I'm probably gonna be um, taking care of the situation, and hopefully I can get done. Well, I got to get done before the sun goes out. But anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Abia, who is always, Father, we ask you for all mercy and guidance. As usual, Father, without you, we are nothing. So, as usual, Father, we want to tell you this and remind you of your greatness and your goodness and your kindness and your mercy. We ask for forgiveness for sins and transgressions. If there's any iniquity, Father, please take it away from us. Help us with this. Help us get our minds together, Father, because we need it right now. This is the time. So, as we get ready to go into this lesson, Father, we just, first of all, thank you for Yahushua HaMashiach. Second of all, Father, we thank you for the Ruach, the HaKodesh, the set apart one. We ask, Father, that you help us be more set apart as each day passes by, each minute, each hour. Because, Father, we need righteousness. We need guidance. Because we see that your word is true. And the things that you said that you were going to do, you are doing. So this is the time, Father. We have to start looking at ourselves. Help us see ourselves for who we really are so that we can walk the straight and narrow path. We need you, Father, more than ever. For those that have eyes to hear, eyes to see, and ears to hear, please, we got to get this together. And Father, help us if we are on the fence. Let us just dive in the pool, your wisdom, fully submerging our whole body in this truth. And we ask for these things, Father. Please help us, Father. Please. In Yahushua's name we pray. Hallelujah. All right, let's get to this. Now, before we get to this, um, I want to do something. Go ahead and get some clarity on this stuff. That's what we got to do. We got to get clarity because before we start getting into this 25th chapter of the Jubilees, we got to get some understanding. Let me close this window because for so long we've been told all these things about how the birthright was stolen and all these types. We're going to look at this thing for the real because we're getting ready to get into this 25th chapter. So we're going to look at some things. Now, Genesis 25 and 26 says, and after that came his brother out, because these two brothers, they struggling in the womb. And his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob or Jacob. Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. They fought or struggled in the womb because the birthright should have been Jacob's, as we will show and prove. You see, so because again, we're gonna get to this. We're gonna look at all this, so that way, when next time you hear somebody telling you, about how Jacob subdued or stole or did all these things to this birthright, they're gonna settle this once and for all. Then we're gonna go ahead and get into chapter 25 and chapter 26 of Jubilees. So let's keep rolling. Now, let's look at these instructions that was given because we have to look at the character of both of these brothers. He said, now this is what his mother told him. My son, do not take you a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Now, I wasn't going to even go through all this, but one of my nephews asked me, well, why would Yahuwah send him to go marry someone that was an idol worshiper? Okay, well, first of all, ain't none of us clean. I don't care how much we study, how much we pray, whatever we do, you ain't never going to be clean enough. You're just not going to be. That's where the blood of the Mashiach comes in. And second of all, you definitely won't be clean enough to be in the Father's presence because, after that first resurrection, he's going to be another resurrection. People don't like to look at it that way, but that's what it is. You got to be trained up again for 1,000 years before when the tabernacle comes down and dwells amongst men, you're going to have to be right. So this is the steps that we got to take. But the first steps in this flesh is being obedient. And we're going to look at this because we saw how these books has been passed down. So we're going to look at again these two natures of these two brothers. So the mother saying, my son, do not take you a wife of the daughters of Canaan. So this is why she sent him to Laban with her own kinfolk. As Esau your brother who took him 2 wives of the daughters of Canaan, and they have embittered my soul with all their unclean deeds. For all their deeds are fornication and lust, and there is no righteousness with them. For their deeds or their works are evil. You shall take you a wife of the house of my father, and the Most High Yahuwah will bless you, and your children shall be a righteous generation and a Kodesh seed. So I'm just pointing out these certain things that we're going to read in the 25th and 26th chapter. So these are key things that we have to be able to zero in on. So she's telling him that Yahoo was going to bless it. And how would she know that? We're going to see how we would know that. And we're going to see that Yahuwah's hand was in this thing from the very beginning. From the very beginning. But people be trying to figure out why would he do that? Listen, stop tripping and trying to figure out why he does what he does. It's him. He can do what he want to. Everything belongs to him. Everything. Everything you see, everything you touch, whatever you put in your mouth came from his creation. Exodus 20 and 12. Well, not anymore, because now we got these scientists, they done started making chicken and other animals in labs. So by the time another 10 years, if the earth lasts that long, these kids ain't gonna know the difference between with me at my age, I know what real watermelon used to taste like. I know what real fruit used to taste like. I mean, I just know what real chicken and all these things used to taste like. It's a lot of stuff that's changing. So Exodus 20 and 12. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yahweh thy Elohim giveth thee. So this brother already understood this. And then to back it up for the New Testament people, Ephesians 6, 2 through 3, honor thy father and thy mother, which is the first commandment with promise. What's the promise? That your days may be long upon this earth. That's why you see, I got back here where I grew up at, so many people is dead. And I know it's just because of me trying to do right by Yahuwah that I'm still here. I don't even deserve it because I know who I am. I don't even trick myself. I know who I am. But in my mind, I do not even deserve to be alive. But there's so many people I went to high school with that's not here right now. And the ones that live real foul, they've been dead. So when we say honor, we mean what? High respect, great esteem. This is what we're supposed to be doing. And this is the problem right now in our communities because these kids don't have no guidance. They haven't been raised in the way that they should go. So they out of control and they wild. And so maybe their parents probably smoke weed with them and go to the club and all these things with them. So if half of them ain't being told the right thing to do, you got another quarter of those that's raising themselves, and then you have a little small portion, some grandmothers or uncles or something that's trying to tell these kids you shouldn't be out in these streets. That's it. So they don't have no honor for anybody because they will kill anybody. And it's because of the mindset. See, they have a Luciferian mindset. A lot of them is reprobate and can't never turn back anyway. So let's keep rolling. So this is what Jacob did. He honored his folks. He honored his mother and his father. And we're going to see that. So she said, my son, do not take you a wife of the daughters of Canaan as Esau, your brother who took him 2 wives. And we know when we go to Genesis, it's going to, I'm sorry. We know in the scriptures that tell us that he had 3 different wives, and they was Hittites, Jebusites, Canaan. They was all from the daughters of Canaan as Esau, your brother, who took him 2 wives of the daughters of Canaan, and they have embittered my soul with all their unclean deeds. See, there is no righteousness with them, for their deeds, works are evil. I'm going to keep pointing this out. And despite all that he has commanded me, these 2 and 20 years my brother has striven with me. He just keep bugging me and spoken frequently to me and said, my brother, take to a wife or sister of my 2 wives. But he said, I refuse to do as he has done. And we're going to see why. So Proverbs 15:20, a wise son maketh a glad father, but a foolish man despises his mother. So this brother right here, he had nothing good in him from the very beginning. He despised his parents because he did not obey them. That's what that means. When you don't obey your parents, you despise them. Let's keep going. You might say, I love my mama. Are you sure? And you get out here and do these things, you see what happens. So we see that the reason why he said he couldn't do this, right? And he ended up getting in a little trouble with this whole situation right here. So in Leviticus 18 and 18, he said, Thou shalt not take a wife in addition to her sister as a rival to uncover her nakedness in opposition to her while she is yet living. So in the King James, now this is the Septuagint here. So we go to the King Jimmy, he says, Neither shall thou take a wife to her sister to vex her, to uncover her nakedness beside the other in her lifetime. So we're going to see when he married Leah, even though he was tricked into it, he wanted, I mean, but he wanted Rachel that bad. See, he wanted Rachel. So, and he knew this. He knew about this, but his love and desire and lust for this woman was out of control. And we're going to see some things with this. Because Jacob was just a man, but he still was trying to do right. Maybe this is why Rachel was barren for so long. But then she prayed to Elohim. Then Elohim remembered Rachel, and Elohim listened to her and opened her womb. Genesis 30, 22 through 24. Then Elohim heard Rachel's prayer and made it possible for Rachel to have children. She became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She said, Elohim has taken away my shame. Rachel named the son Joseph, saying, May the sovereign give me another son. So we see this right here. See, because Yahweh, he still is what? Merciful. And she had to have love and desire for this man as well. But she wanted a son. And we're going to look at this because we're going to look at the differences between the two to see what's really going on with this. Well, we got to get understanding before we start jumping in these books sometimes. Now, Esau said, I am about to die. Of what use is a birthright to me? That's the nail that put the clothes, the cover on the coffin. He didn't even care about the birthright. This is why they were struggling, because Jacob was trying to get out first. Because he loved Yah. We're going to show you this. But Esau, he could care less because he was a man of the flesh. Hebrews 12 and 16. This is what Paul wrote, that no one is sexually immoral and unholy like Esau. So he liked them Canaanite women, because when we start looking at all the different temples they had and all the different sodomy and oral things and all that, I mean, the same stuff that like it has to be, that's got to be what's going on now. Because I'm going to tell you something. It's bad enough that these young men is out here killing each other, but it's a lot of men, black men out here killing these black women. And it's a lot of this stuff comes from these immoral sex acts, and it just drives them crazy to the point where I guess if I can't have you, can't nobody have you. So he's saying here that no one is sexually immoral, unholy like Esau, who sold his birthright for a single meal. For you know that afterward, when he desired to inherit the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no chance to repent, though he sought it with tears. And King Jimmy gonna say, though he sought it carefully with tears. Yeah, I didn't even want to hear that, because once he despised this thing, this birthright, which is like a ultra holy thing to Yahweh. See, because all the firstborn belong to him. He told you they come out of the matrix. And if you don't understand this, we have a class up here on the firstborn. Please go look at it so you can get an understanding how powerful this is. All their deeds are fornication and lust. This is his whole world. This is Esau's whole thing. Domination. I was going to go ahead and put the blessing that he ended up getting, but y'all could read that on your own. Because and I might do that. I might do that in another somewhere else. So I might even do it in this series. I don't know. But I'm just trying to get to the point, because I know some of y'all, especially y'all younger ones, y'all attention span is small. So I don't want to make this class here too long. So let's keep rolling. Now, Malachi 1 and 2. I have loved you, says Yahuwah. But you say, how have you loved us? Is not Esau Jacob's brother? Declares Yahuwah. Yet I have loved Jacob, but Esau I have hated. I have laid waste his hill country and left his heritage to jackals of the desert. So he just gonna get flattened out, and he has been flattened out. If Edom says we are shattered, but we will rebuild the ruins. So in other words, y'all, you can't do nothing with us. We despise you. We hate you. You understand? Whatever you do, we'll just rebuild it back. But Yahuwah of hosts says, They may build, but I will tear down, and they will be called the wicked country and the people with whom Yahuwah is angry forever. That's deep. That don't change. I remember I tell you the story all the time when I confirmed all this stuff when I was up in the VA hospital and that rabbi came up in there. And at the end of all that, he was like, well, as long as I keep the statutes, commandments, and the laws and the judgments, I'm gonna be in the kingdom too. I said, not if you Esau. Because I always remember this. I learned this from my father about this man back in the 70s. So let's keep rolling. Because a lot of times you'll see cats want to make Esau white. Esau was married to these African women. And then his children was, he could look like anybody at this time. He could be, I mean, it's same thing now. You look at a person that say they Jewish. I mean, half the people that you watch on TV, you don't even know they Jewish. You just think they just the average Gentile white person or something like that. No, no. Esau is very, very tricky, right? He's very cunning. We got to understand that. Some of us probably, some of our congregations probably got some of this joker seed up in there, looking at us reporting and everything that we doing. So the two different natures of them. Esau was rebellious, wild, and had worldly riches, right? Because he became strong to the point where when his brother came back, he had an army. I mean, you go do real research on him, you'll see that Mount Seir and all these places, he had castles and all this stuff up in the built up high in the mountains, like the scriptures say, he built his nest up high like the eagle. Genesis 25 and 23. Which, when you really look at it, and it's that high, what kind of predator does he have? But he preys on everybody. Genesis 25 and 23, and the one shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Which and part of the promise that was made to him was that he was going to break that yoke off himself. See, because we were supposed to be ruling them too, but they still our brother, and we still have to have love. We can't hate these people. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. And my father always say, see, you got the one man, he got hair on his chest, hair on his back. But see, Jacob was a plain man, smooth skin. That ain't what that means. Shepherd that learned the will of Yahuwah. So here you got one that was wild, running around all the time, out in the world, doing all these things, conquering stuff. And like when it comes to adventure and all, he loved all that. But then this brother here, he was right there. He stayed around the tents. He dwelled in tents. He was around the elders trying to get this knowledge. He was around, the servants, and I'm sure he was asking questions. I'm sure he had the books passed down to him because we're going to be able to see his character is going to prove that this man knew about the commandments and he was living that way as a humble shepherd. Now let's keep rolling. I don't want to go this fast, but I got to get to, I want to be able to get to read this chapter, but I'm just trying to get this in your mind before we start reading this. Genesis 25 and 26. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel. His name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 80 old when she bare them. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. Okay, so plain man dwelling in tents. Let's look at this word plain. So what do we see? Plain man dwelling in tents. Strong's number 8535 in the Hebrew. Ta'am. That means he was perfect, complete. So we know from Job and Noah, when it says perfect, doesn't mean, like I always tell you, it doesn't mean that he shot 53 throws and he hit all 50. It means that he was walking in the commandments. He was perfect in his way, walking upright and just, complete, perfect, one who lacks nothing in physical strength, beauty, etc. Because when you keep the commandments, that does make you beautiful because you're trying to be beautiful to the Father. And then he's looking at you and say that you worthy to be part of the bride for his son. You sound, you wholesome, an ordinary, quiet sort of person. So we see people that's really holy or they're trying to be set apart. Guess what? They don't run their mouth a lot unless they talk about these scriptures or you ask them a question. Complete, morally innocent, having integrity, one who is morally and ethically pure. So plain, when we look at this word ta'am, we have what? The tav or the tau and the mem. That's why we've been putting these classes up here, because you need to understand these things when you start looking at these Hebrew letters. So the tar and mem, it also in the root word for this 8535 means to destroy uncleanliness, right? And then both together, both of these Hebrew words, the letters together means covenant life, waters of life. Because we know the mem is waters of life. We know the tau or the tav is covenant. So he has a covenant with life. He has a covenant with the waters of life. This man was walking in the spirit, period. That's what it means by plain. And Job 25 and 4, when we get the same, when we drop down and find the same Hebrew number 8535, we get Job 25 and 4. How can a man be justified with Elohim? How can he be clean that is born of a woman? Because we are born into iniquity. David told you that. But how do you do that? By being plain, by being a plain man. This stuff is so mind blowing, it's unbelievable. By being trying to be righteous and upright. That's what it takes. Now let's keep rolling. And it said he dwelled in tents, which is Strong's number 168, right? Othel, tabernacles, tents, dwelling place, a covering. Wow, who's our covering supposed to be? The Mashiach, the sacred tents of Jehovah, the tabernacle, right? So that's what we see here. It's real simple. And then even if we wanted to break this down, being all, right? Because that's the hey, being all of what? Of the Aleph, the strong leader, and the voice of authority. Who is who? The Mashiach. So this man he's all wrapped up in this. So this is what he was dwelling in. He's dwelling in the word of Yahuwah. Job 29 and 4. As I was in the days of my youth, when the secret of Elohim was upon my tabernacle. Because he was doing this from the day he was small. And we know when we go to the wisdom, right, of Solomon, he tells you, seek Yah while you young. Can't wait till you get old to do this stuff. Because half the time I forget half of this stuff myself. And I know the Spirit be helping me put these classes together because I couldn't remember all this if I wanted to. But she always helps me when it's time to give y'all something. See, so when you young like that as a sister, she said, thank you for putting up the alphabet. And I was like, sister, you ain't got to thank me. Praise Yah that I was able to do it. And I hope that you even go look at more of our classes to help save yourself. So let's keep rolling. Let's get to this now. Now, cunning. It means somebody that's skillful in whatever they do, whether they lying to you, whether they trying to take something from you, they're skillful. So Yesenia's Hebrew Chaldee lexicon says, what does this mean, this word cunning? To lie in wait for, beasts, to catch birds, to lay snares. But the metaphor it gives us is also use of snares laid for men. And this is what Esau was doing to this whole world with him and his father, who was Hasatan. They laying snares, and we see the brother here trapped. He all wrapped up in the world, and he want to be an executive and get money, and then look what money did for him. We got to break away from that, because I mean, the more you look at some of these YouTube things, and it's all the killing that's going on, and then you always see these loudmouth sisters hollering, talking loud, cussing, acting a fool, and they always be dressed up like Jezebel. And he said, why would you say Jezebel? I could say dressed up from what the Nephilim spirits gave us. Because I got a class called House of Time. I'm going to drop all that on you. All that caked up makeup and wearing these long nails and worrying about all these tight pants. Every time you take a picture, you got to turn so somebody can look at your behind. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Rebellious, wild, and had worldly riches. Now I got some of this information out of the Jewish Encyclopedia. There's a couple other things. So we're gonna see some stuff in here. But some of this stuff I don't recommend it. I just look at it, everything. I just don't get trapped up in everything. When Esau was born, he was fully formed and had hair across his body like a full-grown man. This prompted all those present to give him the name Esau. Esau in Hebrew, Esau, which translate as made or formed. Esau was given a second name, Edom, Hebrew for red. The impetus for this name was his foolhardy decision to sell his birthright. Did you hear that? His foolhardy decision to sell his birthright. to Jacob in turn for a pot of red lentil soup. This name was also associated with the reddish complexion of his skin, which symbolized his propensity for violence. And if you look at the promise that was given to him by his father, trust me, he gonna rule by the sword. So some say that Seir, Esau's residence, see below, was yet a third name of his after his hairy appearance, right? Hair is Seir in Hebrew. So it's easy, I mean, this stuff is, you just got to do a little research. Similar to two spheres in the tube, in which the one inserted last exits first. Did you hear that? Esau excited Rebekah's womb first, and Jacob excited second. From this perspective, Jacob was essentially the firstborn. This is why he tried to delay his brother's birth so that he would be born first, just as he was created first. He was a hunter. This is Esau, while Jacob was an ardent student. Esau was more inclined to spend his days in the fields, hunting animals and birds, and he all out in the world. It is told that Nimrod, a master hunter himself, was in possession of a cloak that had been passed down from Adam, which attracted wildlife when worn, facilitating his hunting abilities. Esau strongly desired this cloak to the extent that he plotted against Nimrod, murdering him and securing the cloak for his personal use. So let's look at some of this. Now we can go to Jasher chapter 27. We're going to look at that. So while Rebekah favored Jacob, Isaac showed a preference to Esau, as Esau will prepare him delicious meals. That's what it was. That's why he liked him. But watch this here. They're going to try to throw some slick stuff in here. The Jewish midrash adds that Esau tricked his father by leading him to believe that he was pious. Man, Isaac already knew this brother was not pious, because we read last week where Abraham was like, something up with this cat, so I can't put no blessing on him. I'm going to pass it on. You see what I'm saying? I got to go. Jacob got to get everything, right? So, and Abraham taught his son Isaac about all the things, because Isaac was upright too. Now watch this. Jacob was, so he sold his birthright. One day, 15-year-old Esau returned home after a long day of hunting. Our sages add that it was the day he had murdered Nimrod. See above, weary and hungry, because we're gonna see in Jasher, well, we gonna get to that. We gonna get to that. Hold on, let me calm down, because I get excited when I be doing this. So weary and hungry, he encountered his brother cooking a pot of red lentils. Jacob was planning to give the dish to his father, who was mourning his father Abraham, who had passed away that very day. See, so all this stuff this is what's really going on. He ain't just out here cooking, See, that's why I say the scriptures is, King James is silent on a lot of things. There's a lot of other things that we could use to dig all this stuff out. So this is the only why I use this type of stuff, because I'm trying to give y'all a better understanding. Now, we know that the reason why Isaac knew what was going on. He wasn't blind to that. It's no way Esau could trick him, because if he walking in the spirit, he could see exactly what's going on with this cat. He just liked the fact that he would go catch that meat that he liked. And Abraham gave all that he had unto Isaac. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the evening time. So he was out here meditating, thinking about Yah. And he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels was coming. Okay. So, and we know when we say meditate, that's the word muse, means to ponder, to think about. What else is there for us to think about? Why else would I lay out in the field unless I'm meditating, or I can say praying? I'm trying to talk to the Father. Genesis 25:28. Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. See, that's why he loved it. That's why, because of the food. And I bet he probably had some nice biscuits to go along. He probably was hitting that gravy. Not gravy, but dravy, like my uncles used to say. I'm just saying. I see it. I see it. Now let's look at this. And if you want to, you can go to the book of Jasher and read the whole chapter. I was gonna do that, but we're not gonna do that. And on a certain day, Esau went into the field to hunt, and he found Nimrod walking in the wilderness with two men. And all his mighty men and his people were with him in the wilderness, but they removed at a distance from him. And they went from him in different directions to hunt. And Esau concealed himself from Nimrod, and he lurked for him in the wilderness, because he wanted that coat. And because remember when remember before Nimrod was wicked, I mean, before he turned out into this other thing, guess what? This colt used to give his brother power. And Nimrod and his men that were with him did not know. And Nimrod and his men frequently walked about in the field at the cool of the day and to know where his men were hunting in the field. And Nimrod and his two men that were with him came to the place where they were when Esau started suddenly from his lurking place and drew his sword and hastened and ran toward Nimrod and cut off his head. And Esau fought a desperate fight with the two men that were with Nimrod. And when they called out to him, Esau turned to them and smote them to death with his sword. So Esau, again, you look at the blessing that was given to him by his father, that's where he gonna live by the sword. So he bad with it. So, but this is why he was talking about, I'm ready to faint. I'm about ready to die. But and then again, we see that he still didn't have any control over his flesh. See? Because he still gave up everything for some food. Let's keep rolling. Now, Genesis 27 and 12. Perhaps my father will feed me, and I shall seem to be a deceiver to him. See, when the mother was coming up with this plan, the mother the one that came up with the plan. And evidently the Ruach gave it to her to do it this way. Because again, it wasn't supposed to be Esau's anyway, and he despised it. So he's saying when the mother was trying to hatch the plan, talking about, I heard your father. We can go to Genesis 27 and read it, talking about sending your brother out to get this savory meat. I'm finna cut this up. Look here, go out here and grab us a couple of kids and some goats, and we're gonna make some savory meat for them. But to show you the righteousness of Jacob, he said, perhaps my father will feel me, and I shall seem to be a deceiver to him, and I shall bring a curse on myself and not a blessing. So this brother didn't steal nothing. This man was not wicked. He was walking in truth. Now watch Genesis 27 and 9. Go now to the flock and bring for me from their two choice kids of the goats, and I will make him savory food from them for your father, such as he loves. And then when he started talking about the curse, look at verse 13. But his mother said to him, let your curse be on me, my son. Only obey my voice and go get them for me. Period. So if you want to try to put anything on anybody, put it on Rebecca. But see, I'm going to show you Rebecca was walking in the spirit too. Now, let's keep going. See, a lot of things that we don't understand, the first thing we want to say is it's evil. They stole this. Ain't nobody stole nothing. This was already meant to be. The friction between the two brothers escalated one spring day when the elderly blind Isaac instructed Esau to hunt some game and prepare for him, after which he would bless him. Wanting Jacob to receive the blessing, Rebekah prepared a dish of goat meat and instructed Jacob to masquerade as Esau. Jacob did as he was instructed, and indeed received his father's blessing. When Esau discovered what had happened, he was furious at Jacob and wanted to kill him. And he also did say, once my father's died, I'm going to kill this joker, forcing his brother to flee the home. Jacob spent 20 years at the home of his uncle Laban, who was a crook in Haran, who also became his father-in-law when Jacob married his daughter Leah and Rachel. Now let's keep looking at this thing. So when Esau asked Jacob for a portion of the stew, Jacob stipulated that he would only share it with him if Esau would sell him his birthright. He didn't steal nothing. He didn't supplant nobody. He told him the condition. But being that this man done killed Nimrod and he fighting off two grown men and killed them, of course he was hungry. Knowing the special status Yahuwah accorded the firstborn. Why? Because he was studying. He was in the tents. He was with the elders, staying at home. Out here, he wasn't running out in the street. He was at home studying. He did not want to be bestowed upon a wicked person like Esau. Esau agreed to the terms. He sold his birthright and was duly given a lavish meal of bread and lentil soup. Where is the trickery in that? There is none. When we really break this thing down and really look at the characters and the way that they both was walking. One was walking in wickedness, the other one was walking upright. It's just that simple. Now, fetch two good and fat kids of the goats. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised the birthright, which means he despised the way of Yah, which means he despised Yah. Period. I already told you the man nature was lustful, sexually immoral. So Proverbs 14:2. He that walketh in uprightness feareth Yahuwah. So this brother couldn't have feared Yahuwah because he sold his birthright. But he that is perverse in his ways despises him. So by despising the birthright, he said it basically saying he despised Yah. This is why Yah said he hate them forever. To despise, hold in contempt, disdain, to be despised, to be vile, worthless. Jacinius Hebrew Chaldee lexicon, right? He who makes light of his course of living. So everything about what Yah was putting down, he made light of it. Why? Because he had no understanding. He was always running around in the world. But then here come Jacob. He always around the elders. He know what's going on with this. He was trying to get this from the time he was in the womb. Proverbs 15:20. A wise son maketh a glad father, but a foolish man despises his mother. And we know that he also despised his mother because he went out and did the very thing they told him not to do. I mean, it's just all plain, but we got to make it plain. So King James Version, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph shall be a flame. Right? And the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau. For who spoken it? Yahuwah have spoken. You can't get no stronger than that. So the mind and worship of Esau, greed, success, be exploring all these different things, digging up bodies and doing fame and fortune. This is what he does. And then if we not aware of this man and his things, I mean, and his exploits, guess what? We fall into the same trap. And we can see that now. That's why this whole earth is being destroyed right now because of him, Hasatan, and the wickedness. So let's look at this. This is the basic Illuminati pyramid structure. So we have Esau's up here with the Rothschilds, Rockefeller, secret societies, temples of the Golden Dawn, Skull and Bone, Freemasons, the Vatican policymakers, because all they is the high priest for these people. Hollywood and the music industry would keep you distracted in your mind, all twisted up, got you dressing like hoes and looking like you some type of wild cave folks running around here acting a fool, killing each other. Police, FBI, IRS, etc. You and I at the bottom. We are the cows. We are the goyim. We are the ones that's fit for death as far as they're concerned. What is it? Prince Charles or Prince the Queen's old husband? What did he say? We are worthless eaters. So Satan and the fallen messengers, powers and the principalities, right? The hierarchy, world leaders, right? Religious leaders, politicians, entertainment, and influential people, right? I remember when black folks didn't have no tattoos, Lil Wayne or whoever they said, all of a sudden everybody, even old people getting tattoos. That just goes to show you how strong this thing is. Law enforcement, the common people, and the law enforcement, they ain't there for you. They there to protect all these folk, everything that they have. It's not a hard thing. So really, the thing is, Esau was ruled by his flesh. And again, Paul said that no one is sexually immoral, unholy like Esau, who sold his birthright for a single meal. And then we know that Jacob was ruled by the adults of Yahuwah. All right, I think that's going to be it for that. And I'm sure it is, because that's going to be something else that I'm putting together. So let's go ahead and get into this chapter 25. We just had to make that plain before we get into this, because I'm just, like I say, I'm just tired of hearing that and tired of reading. It's like somebody supplanted somebody. No, you supplanted you didn't even care enough about it. You don't even know who Yah is. You despise his teachings anyway. So Rebecca instructs Jacob. And in the second year of this week, in this Jubilee, Rebecca called Jacob her son and spoke to him, saying, My son, do not take to you a wife of the daughters of Canaan, as Esau your brother, who took him 2 wives of the daughters of Canaan, and they have embittered my soul with all their unclean deeds. For all their deeds are fornication and lust, and there is no righteousness with them, for their deeds are evil. And I, my son, love you exceedingly, and my heart and my affection bless you every hour of the day and the watch of the night. So we see they had to watch night watches then at that time as well. And now, my son, hearken to my voice and do the will of your mother, and do not take you a wife for the daughters of this land, but only of the house of my father and of my father's kindred. You shall take you a wife for the house of my father, and the Most High Yahuwah will bless you, and your children shall be a righteous generation in Kodesh seed. Okay, so how can she say this right? How can she say this right here? That's pretty strong. Okay, we're going to show you how. And then spoke Jacob to Rebekah, his mother, and said to her, Behold, mother, I am 9 weeks of years old, and I neither know nor have I touched any woman, nor have I betrothed myself to any. See, hey, look at that. Nor even think of taking me a wife of the daughters of Canaan. That ain't even on his mind. For I remember, mother, the words of Abraham our father, for he commanded me not to take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. So this is where this came from, right? But then Esau went ahead and did it anyway. But to take me a wife from thy seed of my father's house and from my kindred. I have heard before that daughters have been born to Laban, your brother, and I have set my heart on them to take a wife from amongst them. And for this reason I have guarded myself in my spirit against sinning or being corrupt in all my ways throughout all the days of my life. For with regard to lust and fornication, Abraham my father gave me many commands. So that's telling me he's reading. That's why he hung around the tents, the tabernacle, because he's trying to understand this. He getting understanding from Abraham. Man, this thing is it's so deep. It's so I love it. And despite all that he has commanded me, these 22 years, my brother has striven with me and spoken frequently to me and said, My brother, take a wife, a sister of the two wives, but I refuse to do as he has done. So yeah, I mean he was talking to Esau too. And Esau, like, man, nobody trying to hear that, man. That holier than thou stuff. You hear that all the time. He said, Now I swear, but I swear before you, mother, that all the days of my life I would not take me a wife from among the daughters of the seed of Canaan, and I would not act wickedly as my brother has done. Fear not, mother, be assured that I shall do your will and walk in uprightness and not corrupt my ways forever. And thereupon she lifted up her face to the heavens and extended the fingers of her hands and opened her mouth and blessed the Most High Yahuwah, who had created the heaven and the earth, and she gave him thanks and praise. So she spread out her hands, looking up, praising him, thanking him. And she said, Blessed be Yahuwah Almighty, and may his Kodesh name be blessed forever and ever, who has given me Jacob as a pure son and a Kodesh seed. For he is yours, and yours shall his seed be continually and throughout all generations and forevermore. So this lady here, she's spitting fire. You know what I mean? But the spirit is dealing with her. Let's keep going to prove this. Bless him, O Yahweh, and place in my mouth the blessing of righteousness that I may bless him. What? And at that hour when the spirit of righteousness descended into her, wait a minute, into her mouth, she placed both her hands on the head of Jacob and said, Look at this. That's why this sister, so she wasn't wicked either. The spirit was guiding this woman the whole time. Blessed are you, Yahuwah of righteousness and sovereign ruler of the ages, and may he bless you beyond all the generations of men. May he give you, my son, the path of righteousness and reveal righteousness to your seed. And may he make your sons many during your life, and may they arise according to the number of the months of the year. And may their sons become many and great beyond the stars of the heaven, and their numbers be more than the sands of the sea. Okay, let's move up a little bit. And may he give them this goodly land, as he said he would give it to Abraham and to his seed after him always. And may they hold it as a possession forever. And may I see born into you, my son, blessed children during my life, and a blessed Kodesh seed may all your seed be. And as you have refreshed your mother's spirit during her life, why? Because you've been obedient, a good son, a pure son. The womb of her that bare you blesses you thus. My affection and my breast bless you, and my mouth and my tongue praise you greatly. Increase and spread over the earth, and may your seed be perfect in the joy of heaven and earth forevermore. And may your seed rejoice, and on the great day of shalom, may it have shalom. and may your name and your seed endure to all the ages. These people knew about a whole lot of stuff. And may the Almighty of righteousness dwell with them, and by them may his sanctuary be built into all ages. We showed you that last week. See how the spirit don't change. That's how you get this information. Blessed be he that blesses you, and all the flesh that curses you falsely, may it be cursed. And she kissed him and said to him, may Yahuwah of the world love you as the heart of your mother, and her affection rejoice in you, and bless you, and she ceased from blessing. Now let's go on to the next one. Let's go back. We just got to get understanding with this stuff. That's all. It's not hard. It's just getting the understanding. But now we understand exactly what's going on. So let's keep rolling. So that means all the little lies and all the other little things that folks is, these folks is mad about. You can't be mad about that. This is the hand of Yah that's doing this. You ain't got nothing to do with this. And in the 7th year of this week, Isaac called Esau, his eldest son, and said to him, I am my son, and behold, my eyes are dim in seeing, and I know not the day of my death. And now take your hunting weapons, your quiver, and your bow. And I could have went into some of the words about Esau and showed you. I mean, his house is battle. His house is war. Go out in the field and hunt and catch me venison, my son, and make me savory meat such as my soul loves, and bring it to me that I may eat, and that my soul may bless you before I die. But Rebekah heard Isaac speaking to Esau. And Esau went forth early to the field to hunt and catch and bring home to his father. And Rebekah called Jacob her son and said to him, behold, I heard Isaac, your father, speaking to Esau, your brother, saying, hunt for me and make me savory meat and bring it to me, that I may eat and bless you before Yahuwah, before I die. And this thing, y'all is all up in this stuff, man. But we've been taught all this other craziness. And now, my son, obey my voice in that which I command you. Go to your flock and fetch me 2 good kids of goats, and I will make them savory meat for your father, such as he loves. And you shall bring it to your father, that he may eat and bless you before Yahuwah, before he die, and that you may be blessed. And Yaakov said to Rebekah's mother, Mother, I shall not withhold anything which my father would eat, and which would please him. Only I fear, my mother, that he will recognize my voice and wish to touch me. And you know that I am smooth, and Esau my brother is hairy, and I shall appear before his eyes as an evildoer, and shall do a deed which he had not commanded me, and he will be wroth with me, and I shall bring upon myself a curse and not a blessing. Because we see again, this man honored his mother and his father. And Rebekah, his mother, said to him, upon me be your curse, my son, only obey my voice. And Jacob obeyed the voice of Rebekah, his mother, and went and fetched 2 good and fat kids of the goats, and brought them to his mother. And his mother made them savory meat, such as he loved. And you just got to do a little bit more research. And Rebekah took the goodly raiment of Esau, her eldest son, which was with her in the house, and she clothed Jacob, her younger son, with them. And she put the skins of the kids upon his hands and on the exposed parts of his neck. And she gave the meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And I get it, man, because I love me some deer meat, boy, with that gravy. Oh, man, and some biscuits. Whew. And Jacob went into his father and said, I am your son. I have done according to all you bade me. Arise and sit and eat of that which I have caught, father, that your soul may bless me. And Isaac said to his son, how have you found so quickly, my son? How'd you go ahead and catch this deer so quickly? And Jacob said, because Yahuwah, your sovereign ruler, caused me to find. And Isaac said to him, come near, that I may feel you, my son, if you are my son Esau or not. All right. And Jacob went near to Isaac, his father, and he felt him and said, the voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because it was a dispensation from heaven to remove his power of perception. And Isaac discerned not. So we see here, again, all this was already set up. His eyes went dim. It's a dispensation from the heavens. For his hands were hairy as his brother Esau, so that he blessed him. And he said, are you my son Esau? And he said, I am your son. And he said, bring near to me that I may eat of that which you have caught, my son, that my soul may bless you. And he brought near to him, and he did eat, and he brought him wine, and he drank. And Isaac his father said to him, come near and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and he blessed him and said, behold, the smell of my son is as the smell of a full field which Yahuwah has blessed. And may Yahuwah give you of the dew of heaven and of the dew of the earth and plenty of corn and oil. Let nations serve you and people bow down to you. That's coming. That is definitely coming. It's already happened. It's going to happen again. Be ruler over your brother and let your mother's sons bow down to you. And may all the blessings wherewith Yahuwah has blessed me and blessed Abraham, my father, be imparted to you and to your seed forever. Cursed be he that curses you and blesses he that blesses you. So if you understood what the firstborn blessing was all about, then you would understand why all this had to happen. It couldn't be given to Esau because Esau was wicked and he despised it anyway. And it came to pass as soon as Isaac, because you got to remember, this brother was seeking Yah from the time he was a babe, sometime he was a kid. And it came to pass as soon as Isaac had made an end of the blessing, his son Jacob, and Jacob had gone forth from Isaac his father, he did, and he hid himself, and Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he also made savory meat and brought it to his father and said to his father, let my father arise and eat of my venison, that your soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said to him, who are you? And he said to him, I am your firstborn. See, now he want to claim to be the firstborn. Your son Esau, I have done all you have commanded me. And Isaac was very greatly astonished and said, who is he? Who is he that has hunted and caught and brought it to me? And I have eaten all before you came, and have blessed him, and he shall be blessed, and all his seed forever. See, this was already set up. Ain't nobody stole nothing. Ain't nobody did nothing in secret to nobody. And it came to pass when Esau heard the words of his father Isaac, that he cried with an exceeding great bitter cry and said to his father, bless me, even my father, even me also. So I can just imagine he probably just screamed and went crazy. And he said to him, your brother came with guile and has taken away your blessing. Now again, he already sold the blessing. I mean, you understand the deal was already made. And he said, now I know why his name is called Yaakov. Behold, he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and now he has taken away my blessing. He didn't took away nothing. You gave it to him. And he said, have you not reserved a blessing for me, father? And Isaac answered and said to Esau, behold, I have made him your ruler, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with plenty of corn and wine and oil have I strengthened him. And what now shall I do for you, my son? And Esau said, Isaac, his father, have you but one blessing, O father? Bless me, even me also, father. Now let's look at this. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Isaac answered and said to him, behold, far from the dew of the earth shall be your dwelling, and far from the dew of heaven from above. And by your sword will you live, and you will serve your brother. And it shall come to pass when you become great, which we know he did, because that's when you first seen this first split with Israel, because half the children that was Jacob's children went one way, and the other ones went the other way. So we already seen that was a shadow picture of the split to come later on. And by your sword you shall live and will serve your brother, and it shall come to pass when you become great, which he did, and do shake his yoke from off your neck, you shall sin a complete sinner to death. What? And your seed shall be rooted out from under heaven. We just got done reading that. He gonna be stubble. And Esau kept threatening Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And he said in his heart, may the days of mourning be for my father now come, so that I may slay my brother Yaakov. It's all there. It's all there. So this is why all these other things. It's so much but you got to watch a lot of history to understand this. You got to look at a lot of history, a lot of these wars with these cousins, and it's crazy. Yeah. And I was in the military fighting over some stuff, and once I started seeing, well, I'm like, man, what am I doing this for? For what? They lying about everything. You know what I'm saying? But Esau, he handles the news media too. Now, let's get to this one. We're gonna hit this last one. I'm not trying to make it too long. You know what? I'm gonna stop because uh man, well, no, I got to get this one. We're gonna do this one. If it's too long for y'all, just cut it off and come back. But I want to finish this out so I can have chapter 25 through 27. And the words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah in a dream. See what I'm saying? Y'all still dealing with this sister. And Rebekah sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said to him, Behold, Esau your brother will take vengeance on you so as to kill you. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice and arise and flee you to Laban, my brother, to Haran, and tarry with him a few days until your brother's anger turns away, and he remove his anger from you, and forgot all that you have done. Then I will send and fetch for you from there. So we're going to see this brother already had to get his spirit man together before he got down here, because he know he going down here with a lot of idol worshippers, right? Because we can go back to Abraham's father. And Abraham asked him, man, why are you worshiping these things? He said, man, I know it's wrong, but I'm scared of the people. And so that's why the book tells us that the cowardly will not enter into the kingdom. If you scared to walk this thing out in front of your family and your friends and whoever else, you ain't worthy. Now, therefore, my son, obey my voice, arise and flee you to Laban, my brother, to Haran. Okay, I'm sorry. 4. And Jacob said, I am not afraid. If he wishes to kill me, I will kill him. But she said unto him, let me not be bereft of both my sons on one day. And Jacob said to Rebekah, his mother, Behold, you know that my father has become old, does not see because his eyes are dull. And if I leave him, it will be evil in his eyes, because I leave him and go away from you. And my father will be angry and will curse me. I will not go when he sends me, then only will I go. Okay, let's keep rolling. And Rebekah said to Jacob, I will go in and speak to him, and he will send you away. Rebekah went in and said to Isaac, I loathe my life because of the 2 daughters of Heth, whom Esau has taken him as wives. And if Jacob take a wife from among the daughters of the land, such as these, for what purpose do I further live? For the daughters of Canaan are evil. And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and admonished him and said to him, Do not take you a wife of any of the daughters of Canaan. Arise and go to Mesopotamia, to the house of Bethuel. If you don't know what that word means, if you haven't been going through the alphabet, go through the lesson Bayet. You'll find out your mother's father, and take you a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. And Yahuwah Almighty bless you and increase you and multiply you, that you may become a company of nations, and give you the blessings of my father Abraham, to you and to your seed after you, that you may inherit the land of sojourning, all the land which Yahuwah gave to Abraham. Go my way, my son, in peace. And Isaac sent Jacob away, and he went to Mesopotamia to Laban, the son of Bethuel, the Syrian, a brother of Rebekah, Jacob's mother. And it came to pass after Jacob had arisen to go to Mesopotamia, that the spirit of Rebekah was grieved after her son, and she wept. And Isaac said to Rebekah, my sister, weep not on account of Jacob, my son, for he goes in peace, and in peace he will return. See, so the father know, he's seeing what's going on. Because we got to always understand, man, Yahuwah is in control of everything. The Most High Yahuwah will preserve him from all evil and will be with him, for he will not forsake him all his days. For I know that his way will be prospered in all things wherever he goes, until he return in peace to us, and we will see him in peace. Fear not on his account, my sister, for he is on the upright path, and he is a perfect man, and he is faithful and will not perish. Weep not. And Isaac comforted Rebekah on account of her son Jacob, and blessed him. And Jacob went from the well of the oath, because remember, this all started back with Heth and Abraham, to go to Haran on the first year of the second week in the 44th Jubilee. He came to Luz on the mountains, that is Bethel, on the new month, of the first month of this week. So, I mean, we seeing that this got something to do with the new moon. And he came to the place at evening and turned from the way to the west of the road that night, and he slept there, for the sun had set. And he took one of the stones of that place and laid under the tree, and he sojourned alone, and he slept. Like that's why when Bob Marley had that song last night, how he slept, and rock was my pillow too. Well, he tried to teach you about something. It ain't all about smoking weed, as they made it seem. And he dreamt that night, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to the heaven. Behold, the Malachim of Yahuwah ascended and descended on it. And behold, Yahuwah stood upon it. What? And he spake to Jacob and said, I am Yahuwah Almighty of Abraham, your father, and the Almighty of Isaac, the land wherein you are sleeping. To you will I give it, and to your seed after you. Wow. And your seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and ye shall increase to the west and to the east, to the north and the south. And in you and in your seed shall all the families of the nations be blessed. Same thing he just got done telling Abraham. So he just passing down, because it had to be the firstborn right, had to be passed down to the one that was righteous. And behold, I will be with you and will keep you wheresoever you go. And I will bring you again into this land in peace. For I will not leave you until I do everything that I told you of. And Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, truly, this place is the house of Yahuwah, and I knew it not. And he was afraid and said, dreadful is this place, which is none other than the house of Yahuwah, and this is the gate of the Shamayim, or the gate of the heavens. Wow. And Jacob arose early in the morning and took the stone which he had put under his head and set it up as a pillar for a sign. He poured oil upon the top of it, and he called the name of the place Bethel. But the name of the place was Luz at the first. And Yaakov vowed a vow to Yahuwah. Now watch this now. Now let's see what he asked for. Saying, if Yahuwah will be with me and will keep me in this way that I go. And it's not just talking about getting to Laban. He's talking about in the path of righteousness, and give me bread to eat and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace. Then shall Yahuwah be my sovereign ruler, and this stone which I have set up as a pillar for a sign in this place shall be Yahuwah's house. And of all that you give me, I shall give the tenth to you, Yahuwah, the Almighty. So we got an understanding about this now. So from the last series, last couple of chapters to this one, now we should have an understanding about this. Exactly what truly happened, who stole what, and who didn't steal anything. It's just some old Edomite tricks that's got, well, you know, they stole the birth. Now you sold the birthright. Get over it. And he's still running around here pretending like you don't know who the children are, denying that. I got to watch what I say up here, because if I tell too much truth, now you done got me on restriction on your channel. You understand? Because you own everything, but not for long, because y'all is tearing up everything. Your whole world is crumbling, and everybody that walks like you, that talks like you, and thinks like you, that they're going to be destroyed too. So I don't care what y'all do. I'm staying with y'all. So thank you, Father, for this class. I hope that I helped somebody. I hope that somebody got some understanding. Please, y'all, touch a lot of these young people that be coming up here. Let them see this for what it really is, and give them the strength to fight off the mindset of Esau and Hasatan. We ask these things as always. We bless the name of Yahuwah. We praise the name of Yahuwah. And of course, we got to magnify it, because it is so great. Oh my goodness, and honorable. Oh, and peaceful. Our shield and our buckler, the Almighty of Almighty. Yahuwah, Ab Yahuwah, the Aleph. Thank you, Father. In Yahushua's name we pray. All right, y'all. I hope y'all got something out of this. Again, my class, I'm sorry, but something just came up, but I'm not going to told you. I don't care what's going on from now on. If I got to take this computer with me somewhere to make sure that I keep my word to y'all and the class be up here on Friday, whether I be up here with you or not, it's going down, because it's time to go full force to this thing. So thank you for coming up here. Thank you for your time. Praise Yahuwah. In Yahushua's name we pray. Hallelujah. All right, y'all. We out. Shalom.